Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to a brand new stream. Of course, it's the stream that y'all will probably see. And it is 5 o'clock. And for most people, it's time to get off work. And then, like Homer Simpson says in that famous Simpsons episode, The March versus the Monorail. Simpson, Homer Simpson, he's the greatest guy in history. From the town of Springfield, he's about to hit that chestnut tree. Boom. Can't believe that was in the same episode as March vs. Monorail, which is a pretty good episode and all that. But anyway, yeah, so it's 5 o'clock and time to get off work and all that. But, you're in Canada and the United States, you really can't get off work because both countries had a major holiday. Canada, it's Canadian Thanksgiving, and America, it's, Indigenous Peoples Day. Of course, I can't spell and all that. I'm just practically chatting publicly because the whole thing is that people will probably see the chat and all that. So anyway, it is 5 Eastern time. The roof is open at the Rogers Center this time. Last night, the roof was closed. Maybe this time, the Blue Jays will actually put up some offense. I mean, usually, yeah, like a lot of stadiums are open at 8 o'clock at night and all that. I don't know why the Blue Jays couldn't open up the dome and all that, but you never know what could happen. So the Blue Jays are up against it. They need to win to force at least a game 5 on Friday. Of course, this is a 2-3-2 format in the LCS and the World Series. So the first 2 games are in Toronto, and then the next 3 in Seattle, and the next 2 in lovely Toronto, 6 and 7. I have to pause because I have to look at the lineup. And I think it's the same lineup as yesterday. It is the same lineup as yesterday, as I see. So Arozarena in left, Raleigh catching, J-Rod playing center, Polanco playing second, Canada's own Josh Naylor at first, Jeannie Suarez at third, Canzone will play DH, Rubbles in right, and Crawford will play shortstop. So yeah, the same lineup as yesterday. Kind of weird, but Seattle knows what they're doing. And the youngster, Yusavage will be in play for game 2, 5 and a third innings, giving up no hits, no runs. A lot of people questioned the Blue Jays just yanking him after that much because he had a no-hitter going. I did, of course, because, the Blue Jays, I'm like, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, like, if he gives up a hit and you yank him, fine, I'll take that. It didn't matter in the first place. The Blue Jays crushed the tar out of the Yankees in game 2. Mariners wearing their emerald greens again, and the Blue Jays wearing their blues with the white panel hat again. Trey Strickson, you're out. Well, he had a great performance against the Yankees. I think they're more free swingers than normal, so it just ticks me off that Marlins man is not in behind the plate because, like, he's an icon, and yet he doesn't come up to Canada. I wonder if Marlins man does have a wiki page and all that. So I'm just going to check. So strike there, first pitch. Fake Marlins man. But yeah, he was a fake. Oh, he does have a YouTube page. Rosarena goes fishing for that one. Strike 2. Marlins man, Lawrence Levy from North Miami Beach. Game famed in 2012 for his frequent appearances at sporting events with the bright orange Miami Marlins apparel. Of course, that was when the Marlins changed from Florida Marlins to the Miami Marlins. Rosarena steps off. He's a Ubeca's super fan. Yeah, it's weird how he was at the World Series, Super Bowl, NBA Finals, Kentucky Derby and his stuff. Like the Kentucky Derby, like you really don't wear that type of stuff at the Kentucky Derby. The Stanley Cup Finals, College World Series, and other events. His presence was first noted attending the 2012 NBA basketball game featuring the Miami Heat because the team would distribute white T-shirts before the game. And Ooh, Arizarena thought he was going to strike out. That's actually impressive that he thought he struck out. And all that. That would be pretty much cool and all that. Yikes. Well, automatic strike zone will be probably there. Arizarena did think he struck 3, so that could have told him and all that. So, anyway, yeah. Yeah. Lawrence Levy, that's pretty impressive. 3-2. I plunked him. Well, that's ball 4 anyhow. Well, anyway, yeah. Lawrence Levy, he wore the orange jersey and Pfizer among the sea of the white promo things, and then was sitting behind home plate between the Giants and Tigers wearing that Marlins jersey, increasing visibility on TV and all that. So anyway, he once was, they said he actually had liver cancer in 2014, but was falsely diagnosed. He says he spends 300 days per year traveling to sporting events and covers all his fares by frequent flyer miles and his hotel and car rental fees with credit card points. Cal Raleigh, the guy who kind of killed the Blue Jays yesterday at the plate. So yeah, he pays for his front row seats at sporting events in cash. Levy says he's attended 27 Super Bowls. Well, in 2017, he said that 94 World Series games, 90 NBA Finals games, and lots of basketball and baseball playoff games. He poses for pictures, social media accounts. I wish he had a YouTube page. In fact, MLB The Show put him in the game and all that. It's pretty impressive. He does actually buy season tickets and buys season tickets for clients and friends because he is a lawyer and orders drinks for newfound stadium friends. No, sorry, he didn't go 1 ball, 1 strike. He gives away Marlins jerseys on behalf of charities. He sold his jersey, Pfizer, and tickets from the 2014 World Series for over $5,600. So he was a full season ticket holder since 1993 when the Marlins started being a franchise. Didn't go again. And then he actually planned to discontinue his season tickets in 2018 because of pricing and all that. He was, of course, upset because the Marlins traded away Stan and Yelich, D. Gordon, and Marcell Ozuna. But the Marlins actually wanted to give him $263,000 for the 4 seats and a credit for 2 season tickets and outfield seats. So, yeah, anyway, he's been to many events and all that, including Game 4 of the 2012 World Series when the Tigers got swept by the Giants. Marlins, man, that's pretty interesting. And a foul ball, 3-2. I shall show this to my buddy Bill, because, so yeah, Marlins man, legendary guy and all that. I wish that he came to Canada and all that. Ball 4, yikes. He's losing his confidence. He was striking out the Yankees left, right, and center, but I think because the Yankees seem to be, quote unquote, impatient, the Mariners are being patient. Yeah. He sat behind home plate in Game 1 of the World Series in 2014. His bright orange jersey agitated the team and management for Kansas City and was offered a private seat. If he would even better seat, or even free mementos if he would cover up or put on a Rose jersey. However, Levy, who paid $8,000, refused to do anything. He was at the finish line of the Preakness Stakes in his jersey. He was actually at both wildcard games when Houston went to New York and beat them, and Pittsburgh lost to the Cubs at home. He attended both series of the ALDS with the Blue Jays taking on the Rangers. Yeah, but did he attend in Toronto or did he attend in Kansas City? He attended the ALCS games 1, 2, and 6 in 2015, which tells you he didn't come to Canada because, Canada, the Blue Jays hosted 3, 4, 5. He attended all 5 games of the World Series. Anyway, yeah. Maybe you buy tickets. He attended all the, J-Rod. Oh, it's inside the foul pole. That's gone. Holy St. Laurent. Talk about momentum. Yusevich has just given up a 3-run home run in the first inning. Well, here we go again. We're going to hear all those Yankee fans laughing at our asses, and we're going to hear all the American fans laughing at us. Oh, he grooved it, and J-Rod went to left field and gone. Levy attended all the 2018 NLCS games, sat behind home plate in Game 2 of the AL. Yeah, Yankee Stadium. Yeah, he's never been. I don't know if he's allowed to go to Canada for anything. So that I just wish that he came to Canada and all that. Can't believe it. It's 3-0 already for the Mariners. That's a blow and a half. Maybe Blue Jays should have kept the roof closed. They gave up 3 runs yesterday. Only 3 runs in 9 innings. But the offense was just anemic. The worst performance in Blue Jays history for hits in a game with 2. And the Facebook group I belong to for the Blue Jays actually corrects themselves, saying, yes, that is actually true. So, of course, I'm changed my attire. Well, Polanco at least swings and misses. Thank goodness for that. So, yeah, I'm wearing the different attire, the Leafs hat, because I can't wear the Blue Jays hat. I'm wearing the Leafs hat for luck and all that because the Jays won Game 4 with this hat on. And because the Jays are at home, I couldn't wear my Batista jersey. So I've swung through the light blue jersey. I think, was it last year I bought it or was it the year before? Oh, yeah. I bought this in 2022, I think. Yeah, because in 2023, I wore this shirt to the Blue Jays game I went to with Aaron against the Diamondbacks. I wore this color, the light blue. So strike 2. Yeah, a lot of people would be pretty much telling me I was stupid for saying Seattle over Detroit. But I was like, Detroit doesn't look like it. Other than Scooble, what do you have? I mean, it was a 1-0 guy, and Cleveland just basically didn't play their game. Well, I'm going to be bombarded and all that. Oh, 2, way up there. All 1. Yeah, the Jays coming back from 3 runs down. It does happen. I know World Series Game 4 in 1993, they were down by 5 multiple times, and they still won the game. So it's not really over yet, but, ouch. That was off his foot, the non-padded foot. Yeah, that was off his foot. I know that feeling. Naylor's going to have to get the trainer out there. That's what happened to Lucas yesterday. Watch this. Ow. Yep, it hit him in the ankle where it wasn't really protected, in the part that wasn't protected and all that. That's got to hurt. So, yeah, Josh Naylor and all that. You're thinking, well, isn't there another Naylor? Yes, there is. Bo Naylor, but he plays for the Tribe, or Cleveland. I should really say that. I got to be cautious, though. I should only refer to Cleveland as the Tribe in past tense and all that. I know that you'll probably be thinking, well, that's kind of dumb and all that it's not going to matter. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So anyhow, yeah, it does matter to some people. I mean, not completely there, but you never know. And he fouls it off. I mean, good for him, but he's okay. Pitch. Chopper up the well, just past Clement's glove. So that's a single by Naylor. Yeah, J-Rod, that was the first hit Savage gave up. The question on my mind is, are you going to warm anyone up? I mean, if you warm someone up, you might as well. I mean, what do you have to do? I know. Okay. So, this one. So anyway, just doing some stuff here. And a strike to Suarez. First pitch, Gino Suarez went deep last time. I thought he went deep last game against us. Guess not. They had a double. I thought he had a home run off of us. Unless I'm thinking. Did he go? I don't think so. No, that did not look like a swing to me. So, yeah. Yep, Braden Fisher is in the bullpen. I kind of had a hunch. I said, well, it's 3-0. They're probably going to bring someone. And I brought my Leafs flag too. Swinging a strike 2. So with 1 out, yeah. That just sucks and all that. You think you're okay, but you're not. Well, he got him to swing and miss, strike 3, so that's good. So, yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays, well, the good news is they've got 9 offensive innings to do something, or 8 if they have to lead after the top of the 9th. But, yeah, they still have time. Canzone was 0 for 4. I'm actually shocked they put him still on the bench. I mean, Seattle might have anyone else who is a good DH and all that. Now what's going on? Did they call time or something? Or was that I think that was a pitch out. No, that was a pitch out. Yeah, the umpire said something. Oh, no, they did call a pitch out. Oh, and Naylor almost over in the bag. You have to keep your foot on the bag because if they tag you with their foot off the bag, even though that you tap the bag the first time, you're out. Strike 2 to Canzone. Yeah, I'm actually surprised Canzone is playing. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, you're up 1-0. Do you really need Canzone up there? Well, he strikes out the side, but gives up a 3-run home run to J-Rod. So, the good news is he struck out the side. The bad news is he gave up the home run to Julio Rodriguez with the trident. I bet America is celebrating. Trump will definitely celebrate because with the Blue Jays not making the World Series and all that, then he doesn't have to say all those awful things about Canada, like, and I can't do Trump voice. America needs this World Series. America first. Canada has been screwing us for years. We have to make America great again. So, yeah, that's what I feel. That, or as I call him, annoying orange is trying to screw things up. So, yeah, so I got the burger. I got the baseball cards and all that. I am still going to unpack baseball cards, the card pack and all that, obviously. All right, so most postseason. Let's talk about the postseason so far. The Blue Jays were the first team to clinch a playoff berth. It was their 4th in 6 years. It's their 4th in 6 years. The Yankees, their 8th in the last 9 years. 2023 was the only time they've missed the playoffs in that 9-year span. Seattle, their 2nd in the last 4, and their first postseason appearance as division champ since 2001, which had the 2nd longest division title drought in the majors. My question is, who has the longest drought now? Well, it technically would be Florida because Florida's never won the division. So I think it's the Marlins who have the longest drought. Yeah, so, yeah, this guy, last time, each team won a division title and all that. Colorado, Miami, and Pittsburgh have never won it. Yeah, so the Pirates. So, yeah, last time they won in a 6 division format. Colorado's never won a division. Miami's never won, and Pittsburgh's never won. But I guess because I got to pause. for the Blue Jays starting lineup. I guess because of the fact that, Pittsburgh won a division title, but haven't since the 6 division format. That's why they call it Seattle longest, and Colorado Miami doesn't count. Okay, fair. Yeah, I forgot Pittsburgh's never won the division since 1992 when they faced the Braves in that famous Game 7 Sid slid, which was October 13th, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was October 13th. That's right. October 13th. That was when the Blue Jays clinched the pennant against the A's and went to the World Series for the first time ever. And then later that night, Pittsburgh was up 2-0 in the ninth, and then they blew it in the ninth because Jose Lind made a terrible error, and he was not error-prone. The starting lineup, Georgie Springer DHing, Lucas playing right, Flatty at first, Flatty Jr., Barger at third, Alejandro catches, Farshall center, Clement will play second, Schneider playing left field instead of Santander, and Jimenez behind the plate. At shortstop. Who does Seattle have now? Well, here's Georgie, 1 for 4 with a home run. It's Logan Gilbert on the mound. He's a pretty good pitcher. Springer takes it high. So, the Mariners' second longest division drought. Now, Pittsburgh's got the longest drought. I think they said Cincy now has the streak. Yeah, Cincy, I don't think I've won in a while. The Red Sox, their first postseason appearance in 4 years and 6 in the last 13 years. Making the best. Springer, foul, okay. Tigers, their second straight, and Cleveland, their second straight, and their 8th in the last 13 years. Milwaukee, their 7th postseason berth in the last 8 years, which is pretty impressive for Milwaukee. 2022 has been the only time they've missed in that era. Phillies 4 straight in a row. Cubs, their first appearance since 2020, and the first in a non-COVID year since 2018, pandemic. Yeah, and the first in a full 162 games since 2018, so 6 in the last 11 years. The Dodgers are 13 straight, the second longest, tying the Yankees for the second longest appearance streak in Major League history with 13. I forget who number 1 is. It's the longest active streak in the Big 4 leagues. The Dodgers being in the playoffs 13 times. I know the Leafs own the record right now, like right here, right now. So, their 13th consecutive time. The Yankees went 13 straight from 95 to 2007, and then their final season at Old Yankee Stadium, they didn't make the playoffs, but in 2009, that's when they won the title. Springer deep to left field. Fouled by 5 feet. I'm like, did he do it? Did he make one? No. 13th consecutive time. I think the Yankees own that record. I feel like the Yankees own that record. But anyway, the Padres, 4th time in 6 years making the playoffs, and then the Reds, the first time since 2020, and the first in a full season since 2013, when that was the wild card game against Pittsburgh, in which Pittsburgh chanted Cueto, Cueto. Springer deep to left center. This is back. Oh, it hit the wall. Arozarena did not play it correctly, but Springer gets a double. Okay. He didn't get a homer, but he'll get a double. That's okay by me. So, Logan Gilbert. Nice pitch. Now Lucas at the plate. He had to leave early because of that foul ball off the knee. And it was the first time since 2013 that both the Reds and Cleveland both teams from Ohio made the postseason. It has done that before. This year was the first time in 9 years that the Astros did not make the playoffs. Houston's always been there. Basically, it's a division winner. Mostly. And this was the first time since 2017 that the Braves were not in the playoffs because they had 7 straight appearances. Of course, they had those so-called 14 straight division titles, which has an asterisk because 1994 was the strike shortened season in which the strike ended the season. I think they would not have had the division if it was a full season. I think it would have been the Habitants. Cheesehead. Why? Lucas Chopper. They have to go to first. Oh, they threw it away. Let's go to the dugout. 3-1. Yes. Yep, that hit the dugout. So that's an automatic base. There we go. Now it's 3-1. They hurried too much because Lucas went down the line. Lucas had to go down the line. Wow, that's amazing and all that. Well, that's a big play and all that. Lucas hustled down the bag. There were 3 guys converging. All you have to do is flip it. Terrible flip from Naylor. That was a terrible flip. Well, you had to flip it to fight Barger. No, Barger. You know what I mean. Well, here's Flatty. Oh, I don't know why he went after that one. That looked a little high. And his bat goes flying. Does it have a crack in it? Because that means he has to get a new bat. He went for it on the first pitch. Yep, something fell. Bunk. That is a broken bat for sure. So he has to get a new one, obviously. They're telling you, nope. You have to use another bat. And the pine tar is such. Everyone's flying to go deep or do something in the first inning. Blue Jays, well, it was 3-1 yesterday. It's 3-1 right now, and we haven't even finished the first inning yet. Way away. So, yeah, Blue Jays, 94 wins, was tops in the American League, tied with the Yankees, but because they had the head-to-head, that works out. So, yeah, the Blue Jays beat the Yankees head-to-head 8 out of 13 times. That's why they were the winners. Seattle won 90 games. Not half bad. Cleveland won 88 and nipped Detroit at the line. Detroit had like a 12-plus game lead with like 2 weeks, with like a month left, and they choked it. Fortunately they are playing in the 12-team playoff format. They were playing in the wild card. Chopper, Crawford had to throw the first. But the runner moves to third with one out, and a sac fly would be okay. Like if you hit it to the outfield, Barger does, it makes it 3-2. So yes, Detroit would not have made the wild card because the Yankees would have got the wild card with the Blue Jays, Seattle, and Cleveland making the division. So yeah, the Tigers would have been out of the playoffs, and it would have been one of the biggest chokes in history compared to the 2007 Mets, the 1987 Blue Jays, and the 1964 Phillies because they all missed the playoffs. Of course, in the wild card format, the 14 format for playoffs, the 87 Blue Jays would have made it. The 64 Phillies would have definitely made it with the 4 teams and all that. Even in the NLCS, well, let's see. St. Louis was in the East in 1969 and all that for a while. So it was Philly. So it would not have mattered. They would have needed the 14 format. Yep, they're trying to have a plan on Barger, the Honey Barger. Boston won 89 games to take the 5 seed. Tigers 87 wins. So Cleveland had to play the wild card because they had the fewest wins of the 3 division winners. And then Boston had to go to New York to try to go to Cleveland. Barger not doing too well. Only 2 guys got hit, Santander and Springer. And Springer hit a leadoff home run. That was the only run for the Blue Jays. And Santander had a single, I think. Other than that, that was it. Barger, foul. Yep, 51% hard hit rate. I hate these new school stats. I don't know why. I just do. I really hate these stats. Because it's like, do we really need to know that? Barger, foul. Yep, cheese guy has a sign and all that. I don't know why he's wearing a cheese on his head and all that. Toronto's not really known for his cheese. The Packers are in Milwaukee. Maybe it's a lost Milwaukee fan. I don't know. I know the Brewers play at home to start the LCS against the Dodgers. Kind of had to watch that in a sense. Wide, and Raleigh had to hang on to that ball, make sure it didn't go past him because a run would have scored to make it 3-2. This is a very interesting first inning. Much more wild and all that. The 4 runs in the first inning was what the 2 teams combined for yesterday. 4 runs, 3-1 Mariners. 1-2, didn't go. Yep, National League, Milwaukee 97 wins, Phillies 96. Well, the Dodgers were 93 wins because they were the lowest of the 3 division winners. The Dodgers were cooked. Well, the Padres and Reds would have actually been out in the old format. Damn it. A slider strike 3 on Barger, which means the only way you're going to get that run from third is basically a base hit. Alejandro will have to come through. Barger, yeah, I thought he had it. Off speed, I think. So, yeah, the Cubs would have been the wild card team and all that. Yeah, would have in the 14 wild card format, Yankees take on the Blue Jays. British Columbia. He's trying to call me from BC. I don't know anyone from BC. Kurt, that's a hit. There you go, Alejandro. Batting below the Mendoza line, but he gets the single. It's 3-2. So the Blue Jays are coming back. So, yeah, I told you the Dome, with the Dome open, the Blue Jays have a better offense. I had a feeling. Yeah, but it'll get dark, of course, because, the sun sets like at 7 Eastern time. So they'll start in daylight. Well, Major League rules said that with the roof being open, it has to stay open unless there's a weather problem. Far show. I thought it was going to go over Robles' head. Oh, well, good hit. But the Blue Jays put 2 on the board. It's 3-2. We have had more offense in the first inning of today's game than all of yesterday's game, which was 4 runs, and we've had 5. So the Jays are not done yet, baby. 3-2. So, yeah. So if the Blue Jays win the ALCS, they have to, and it would be Blue Jays, Brewers. Brewers have home field. I know the Brewers won 2 out of 3 in Toronto in an interleague. So, yeah. So Milwaukee would host the playoffs, would host the final. The Mariners know that if they win the ALCS, they have to be on the road. Then the NL would have advantage for 1, 2, 6, 7. Seattle would get games 3, 4, 5, so at least they get 3 games. Well, obviously they have to win 1 game themselves. So, yeah, the Blue Jays have 94 wins. The Dodgers have 93 wins. So the Blue Jays actually would host the Dodgers in the World Series and have home field advantage. Like, I'm predicting Dodgers will beat the Brewers because the Brewers, have had bad luck against the Dodgers. And all that. Yeah, the Reds winning 83 games and being the 6th seed, whereas the Tigers won 87. So, yeah, so we're going to be talking about the AL Wildcard Series, and then we'll talk about the NL Wildcard Series, and then the Division Series, and then the both. And then we'll talk about the 2025 ALCS, 2025 NLCS, and, of course, the World Series we'll talk about later. So, yeah, the Blue Jays play at 5 o'clock Eastern time today. Tomorrow, 44,000 fans. So tomorrow's a travel day headed to Seattle. The Blue Jay fans that from British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, they're going to be trying to buy up tickets. I wonder if Seattle's trying to ruin them. But anyway, yeah, Toronto goes to Seattle. That game's at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock on Tuesday, there will be a stream. Wednesday at 8:30, there will be a stream. Thursday, it starts at 6, but right now it's at 6 o'clock. Listowel, Ontario. Listowel, close to where I live in Kitchener. Cool. So right now, Toronto plays Seattle at 6 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday, which means that, assuming that the Dodgers play the Brewers at the same time, which means that, they're going to start just as I have to leave for ball hockey. And the game will probably end by 9 o'clock. So hopefully I get home. Well, I'll probably miss it. Well, that's the plan right now. But if the Dodgers Brewers end, then Jays Mariners will be at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Kirk's giving. That belly looks awkward. I don't know why. Yeah, Seattle then plays Toronto next Sunday night in Game 6 if necessary. And then Game 7 is at 8 o'clock. And all that. So, yeah. All right. We'll talk about the Wild Card Series. Nobody has talked to me. I don't know why. Pitch on the way to Rebels, high in zone, strike 1. So, yeah, Wild Card Series, the way it starts is that game 1, 2, whoever has the better seed in the Wild Card Series gets to host all 3 games. So, Cleveland got to host Detroit for the series. Boston, Yankees got to host the Bo Sox in the ALDS. Entering the final day, yeah, AL East and AL Central had yet to be decided. The Blue Jays needed to win because they knew that the Yankees, even if they won, they couldn't do anything about it. So, yeah. Blue Jays fortunately hung on. Detroit was up by 10.5 on September the 1st, and then they ended up losing because Robles to right field. Lucas, oh, that was dying down, but he makes the catch. Thank goodness for that. So, yeah, Cleveland won on the final day to win the division. Yeah, Boston went to the Yankees. Detroit went to Cleveland. Tigers, Guardians, that series had Sean McDonough and Todd Frazier be the main television analyst. Sean McDonough is a great player and all that. A great commentator. Very underrated. He even did the World Series in 1992 at the age of 30, but he didn't look 30. And then the Yankees, Red Sox, Carl Ravitch, and David Cohn and Eduardo Perez in the booth, if you will. David Cohn used to play for both the Yankees and the Red Sox, so he had his thing. Todd Frazier didn't really have much input. Tigers won a narrow 1-2 with Scooble on the bump. 26,000 fans. That's kind of low. Then Detroit, Cleveland. Cleveland won with 5 in the 8th to beat Detroit to force a game 3 that had 29,000 fans pop by. And then the Tigers scored 4 in the 7th to win the game. Cleveland actually scored more runs than Detroit, 10-9, but unfortunately, that's the total runs don't count. Yankees, Red Sox. Boston won with 2 in the 7th in game 1. Crawford popped it up. Someone take it. Someone take it. Someone take it. Don't bump. Ooh, Clement. You almost bumped into Jimenez. Now Boston won 3-1. Yankees scored 1 in the 8th to make sure that the Red Sox did not win the series in 2. And then the Yankees shut down Boston thanks to Cam Schlittler. So, yeah. It was 9-6 Yankees. And actually, when the Yankees won the series, the stats said that it was the first time ever that a team lost game 1 in the wild card series with a 3-game format and won the next 2. Nobody in the AL or NL did that. Arena fouls. Yankees outscored the Red Sox 9-6 in 3 games. National League. Reds and Mets both had 83 wins, which is like very low for the 6th seed. The Reds knew that they needed to have the same results as the Mets because they beat the Mets 4 out of 6 times. Way out there. So, yeah. Both teams lost on the opening day, and the Mets, that was one of the biggest mistakes. There were 21 games above 500 at one point. Then they went 17 games below 500. Dodgers and Reds, John Boogs Giambi, and Doug Glanville, who used to play for the Phillies, they did the stuff. And in the other, Azareda, there's a strikeout. Now he struck out. Anyway, Cubs and Browns. Kevin Brown, not the former pitcher. Yeah, he's a sportscaster for the Orioles. He did the game with Jessica Mendoza and Ben McDonald, who also was with the Orioles. He was a number 1 pick who washed out because of injuries. So, yeah, so the Dodgers swept the Reds and all that. So, yeah, the stats I have. Yeah, the 95 series, the Reds' most recent playoff series win the longest in the majors. Every team has at least won 1 playoff series since 1995. And that was when, since he did it was the 4-team format. Under the new format, I don't think the Reds would have won. I don't remember. Yeah, Detroit, Cleveland as a team. Yankees, Red Sox, lots of rivalries. Dodgers won 10-5 in game 1 and 8-4 in game 2. The NL Central, as a division, hadn't won a play. Then would not win a playoff series since 2019 NLCS. Wow, that's kind of messed up. For 6 years, the NL Central has not won a playoff series. Well, at the time, but the Cubs did that. Yeah, they moved to 0-10, but that's right. And then Cubs and Padres, they met in 1984 when the Cubs should have won the NLCS to make the World Series against the Tigers. That would have been amazing. Cubs-Tigers, like 1945, the last time the Cubs made the World Series at the time, of course. But it didn't happen. Steve Garvey hit the home run, and Don Drysdale, the late Don Drysdale, said, "Hold on, Garvey, there will be a tomorrow." Cubs beat the Padres in game 1 3-1 and then lost 3-0 in game 2, but then 3-1 in game 3. They got lucky. And the NL Central finally ended their 6-year drought as a division. In the American League, the ALDS, Blue Jays Yankees rivalry, of course, the rivalry. Last Sunday, October 4th, 25 Celsius. It was amazing. 10-1 in game 1. And it broke a 9-year drought for a win in the postseason for Blue Jays, like a game. Blue Jays won 13-7 in front of 23-degree weather and all that. And then game 3 was when the Yankees won 9-6. And then the Blue Jays won 5-2. And with that series loss, the Yankees, that was the 16th consecutive season without a World Series title, the third longest drought in franchise history. They said it was second. Because I know the Yankees, when they originally started in 1901, they hadn't won a title until 1923, so that's 22 years. 22 seasons without a title. And I guess between 1978 and 1996. 78 to 96. That was 18 years. That's the second longest drought without a World Series title. And Aaron Boone has managed a lot of teams. Most playoff teams managed for one team without winning the World Series, tied Mike Hargrove. The Blue Jays outscored the Yankees 34-19. Seattle, Detroit. Detroit scored in the 11th inning off of Vargas. Seattle narrowly won in the bottom of the 8th against Detroit, and then Seattle won 8-4 in game 3, and then they had a 3-0 lead, but Detroit crushed 9 straight runs to make it winner take all, and then it took 15 freaking innings. Scooble would face off against George Kirby. Clement, up to that base hit. Beautiful. Yeah, Scooble had not beaten the Mariners in his thing. All that. Yeah, Kerry Carpenter went deep 2-1. And then after 6, Scooble left. And then Leo Rivas came off the bench to score an RBI single with Scooble on the bench. And then they scored in the 15th inning to win. All that. Scooble gave up only 6 combined earned runs in his final 5 starts. But the Tigers were only 1-4. That shows you the run support problems that Paul Skeens of the Pirates always seems to get. Kerry Carpenter was just basically all Detroit. 4 of the 5 Tiger hits were his. The Mariners used Kirby, Gilbert, and Castillo in the game, but I guess they didn't use Gilbert enough because he's pitching today. A check swing. Well, Schneider did a good job. They couldn't get the runner at second, so the smart thing is to just take the out at first. So Jimenez is coming in. All of that. So it was called The Battle in Seattle by Rick Riz, who was taking over. I thought Rick Riz went to the Yankees. Then who went to the Yankees? That JP got. Who went to the Yankees? Because I thought Dave Sims. I guess it was Dave Sims, right? Yeah, I think it was Dave Sims. Because I thought Rick Riz went to the Yankees. But yeah, it was the longest winner-take-all postseason game in history by innings and elapsed time. Because 15 innings and it took a long time, like more than 6 hours. Flip the first. Oh, well, the runner will move the third. That's good. Now we need a hit to tie the game. The Tigers' local radio announcer, Dan Dickerson, gave a frustrated rant on a hot mic before cutting the commercial break. He thought he was off the air. And the broadcast somehow stayed on during a commercial, and he shouted, "I don't have to do a game recap. F word. F this game recap. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that out loud? 3, 2, 1. Oops." But I think that he was forgiven and all that. Tigers outscored the Mariners 20-19 in that series. And LDS, Brewers took on the Cubs. Those guys always have a rivalry. And it was the Brewers who won against the Cubs in a 1-game playoff in Chicago for the 2018 divisional crown. The Cubs would then go into the wild card game Springer did not swing to that one. And he would face off again, and the Cubs would have to face the Rockies, but then Tony Waiters in the 13th inning with an RBI single to ruin the Cubs' chances. Cubs got crushed 9-3 in game 1. Game 2, Milwaukee won 7-3. Springer, strike. Cubs won game 3, 4-3, and then 6-0 to force a winner-take-all. However, Milwaukee won the game 3-1. And for the fourth time, they're going to the LCS. They outscored the Cubs 22-17 in that series, And then the Phillies-Dodgers. This was the sixth time that the Dodgers and Phillies met in the postseason. Philly won 3 out of 5. LA won the first matchups in 77 and 78, but the Phillies won the last 3, 83, 2008, and 2009. Springer went up for that pitch and strikes. 2-2 coming up. 2-2 with 2 outs, 2 runs for the Blue Jays, and inning number 2. So, yeah, Philly 83, 2008, 2009 in the NL. So the Phillies-Dodgers, that was the 6th matchup. Springer to left field, foul. Nuts. If it just stayed fair, we would be tied because it would have been a double for sure. Yeah, the Reds-Pirates met 6 times in the postseason. The Dodgers and Cardinals met 6 times, so that's the most frequent. Dodgers won 5-3 thanks to Teoscar Hernandez. LA beat Philly 4-3. It was a close one. So he did his job. Philly won game 3, 8-2, but then LA won in the 11th inning thanks to that mistake. Hey, strike 3. No, it's ball. I'm actually shocked. Yeah, Kirkling couldn't field cleanly. He decided to throw at home because he spotted the runner coming home and all that. So that's why he practically threw home and got the pinch runner to score. Anyway, 3-2 on the way. He takes it and he'll foul it away. That's smart. Yeah, Kirkling's error. Everyone said it was the first time ever that an error ended a postseason series. Well, Buckner's error ended game 6 in 86, but that didn't end the series because there was a game 7. And the Mets won that one. So we'll see what happens here. Ooh, it's ball 4. Yeah, I thought Springer was going back to the dugout, but that's ball 4. Ooh, Gilbert's going to probably be hot. We'll see if Lucas can take advantage of it. Yeah, the second time in league history, a postseason series ended in there. That was the walk-off error, game 3 of the 2016 ALDS between the Rangers and Blue Jays. Man, Odor threw that pitch wide of first base. And then that practically was when that practically was when that was when Odor did that. And of course he was in trouble because of the fight with Batista in Texas during the regular season. And then that famous poster, I'd rather be punched in May than knocked out in October. What came true. Philly outscored the Dodgers 13-15 in those 4 games, but still won. Series wide away, up and away, up and away. 1-1, 2 outs. David Lucas trying to get the Blue Jays a run. He needs a hit or a boo-boo by the Mariners. That's the only way you're going to get it with 2 outs. And that's a hit. We have tied the game. Springer, is he on third base? No, he's not. Yes, he is. Nathan Lucas has tied her up. We are tied at 3 in the bottom of the 2nd. Wow. Unreal. I told you the dome closed actually was their hindrance. Now we got Flatty at the plate. Personally, I hope that if the Jays win game 2, they win all 3 games in Seattle so that, the dome situation doesn't rear its ugly head in game 6. Although you could say that if the Jays go up 3-2, headed back home, if they lose game 6, then game 7, what are you going to do? I know it's cold, but Seattle, it's cold too. Although the Mariners don't really get the snow as much as we do in Toronto. So Ontario. 3-3 tie. And the Blue Jays are trying to score another hit. Vladdy Jr. at the plate. If that's the guy, if ever there's a guy to do something, now what? What's Cal Raleigh doing? Okay, he's stretching, but there should be a time constraint or just give an automatic ball to the batter. So, yeah, it's 3-3. So, yeah, J-Rod crushed us in the first inning, but we have come back to tie. We're only in the second inning, though. Here's Vladdy. Decides to wait on that pitch. So, yeah, Vladdy's 0 for 5 in this series. Yeah, his efforts against the Yankees haven't really shown up in this series yet. But, there's still time. There's still time. Wide ball 2. I know you could kind of walk Vladdy, and then the next guy up is the Honey Barger. So, all that. Yeah, 9 RBIs in the postseason. He had 1 from 2020 onwards when the Blue Jays made those postseason runs. So, yeah, wide ball 3. It's going to be an automatic take and all that. So, yeah, Vladdy's going to take it. Unless Gilbert gives him a meatball. I don't think Vladdy's going to swing at this one. That's the ultimate to take. He takes, right on the border. 3 balls, 1 strike. Well, that's fine. Kind of saw that coming. Vladdy will be back at the plate for the next pitch. Mariners were up 3-0. Thanks to J-Rod, and now they have tied the game thanks to some timely hitting and Seattle miscue. 3-1. He's going to disengage. Gilbert better not disengage again, because if he does, then that's an automatic ball, and that's ball 4. The bases are loaded for the Honey Barger. So, anyway, yeah. See what the Blue Jays do. He swung at ball 4. That was going to be a ball. Oh, shit. Should not have swung at that one. Barger on deck. If you watched my end of stream card poll, I polled at Addy Barger. So, maybe it'd be good luck for the Blue Jays this time. All that. We'll see. We shall see. Well, he swung at a pitch and fouls it off. You know the old saying, just make sure you keep fouling off pitchers if you can. Make sure his pitch count goes high. A higher pitch count means he's going to get tired faster. In the OTP doubleheader that I did, that was certainly true with the pitcher for Cleveland, with Robert Feller. Foul it off again. Yeah, the OTP doubleheader, that's the Marlins take on the Dodgers and the Tigers in Cleveland. One game was a 1-0 duel, and one was a high-scoring affair that could have gone either way. Obviously, I have to be quiet and not tell you who won. You have to find out on YouTube. Another foul ball. So he's just working on Logan Gilbert. Nothing more, nothing less. So anyway, yeah. The worst part about this at 5 o'clock is that, the local news is on. I think the news is on. I have to take a look and see if the news is on. My local news is on, because sometimes it's on during the holidays, sometimes it's not. Chops it? Well, can't do anything about it. But the Jays do tie the score, so that's a positive. Yeah, let's see here. Nope, it's all about corner gas. Yeah, it's corner gas tonight. So Oscar tries to catch a mouse. And Knitwood of the Month. Hake decides to take up knitting. Lacey has an Employee of the Month program. And Wanda tries everything to get to be the Employee of the Month from there. But unfortunately, all Brett cares about is making himself the employer of the month. Zootopia is back in theaters. So, yep, it is what it is, and that's all that it is. Yeah. That's why you got Zootopia 2. Kind of don't like Zootopia in a sense. They have stuff. So let's see. The 2025 ALCS, Fox is broadcasting and all that. So Toronto's trying to get rid of their pennant drought, 32 years without winning an AL title. This is their 8th ALCS, going 2-5. Seattle is 0-3 in the ALCS, trying to make the World Series for the first time in their 49th year of existence, and to make sure that every team in baseball has been to the playoffs once. Even like the younger clubs like Arizona and Tampa have been to at least one finals. Seattle's the only one that has yet to pull this off. I know Milwaukee did in 1982. That's what a lot of people said. It's like, they did not in 1982, did they? Yes, they did. Yeah, shoot, I should have written down the ALDS and who the broadcasters were. Sportsnet, of course, doing the Blue Jays with Shulman and Martinez. Fox was Joe Davis and John Smoltz doing it. There were rumors circling that Fox wasn't going to do anything to do it. Yeah, most home runs by catcher all-time single season. Salvador Perez. I said 54 last year, but I was wrong. It was 48 when Salvador Perez set the mark in 2021. Cal Raleigh demolished that, became the first primary catcher to get to 50 home runs, and he got to 60, and he hit the home run off Gosman to tie the game. Yep, so it was Dan Shulman and Buck Martinez, Joe Davis, John Smoltz, and then Seattle Detroit on Fox. It was Adam Amin and AJ Pierzynski and Adam Wainwright. The two Adams and an AJ. In their service, so yeah. And of course, Mariners Blue Jays, Fox doing it, Davis and Smoltz doing it for Fox/FS1, Dan Shulman and Buck Martinez for Sportsnet. Carl Ravage, Eduardo Perez doing the game for ESPN Radio. As a cat is right beside me, trying to lay down beside me. I'll just play this. Oh, I was trying to move my flag so that she could lay down, but she won't lay down. Maybe it's best. Yeah, all that. First time the Mariners won against an LCS game since Game 3 against the Yankees. And then they lost the last two. Yeah, they had a 2-game winning streak. So it's 3-2. All that. The LCS. They announced Game 3. It will be Bieber. Yeah, that's right. Shane Bieber was the pitcher in Game 3 against the Yankees. I completely forgot. I blanked out. George Kirby will start Game 3 in Seattle. Louis Castillo will start Game 4. And that's not the former Marlins second baseman. The Blue Jays, it's going to be hard pressed. Is Chris Bassett going to be okay? Is the Bassett Hound going to pitch Game 4? Or will it be Max Scherzer? We don't know. 2025 NLDS. We forgot to talk about the things. Milwaukee Cubs TBS did that game. Alcs Faust and Ron Darling doing it. Boogs Shambi and Doug Glanville doing it for ESPN. That's high. 4 pitches, 4 balls. Dodgers Phillies on TBS. It was Brian Anderson and Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur from a Brave. I think he played for the Dodgers. Dave O'Brien on the call for ESPN Radio. At the NLCS, this will be the first game and all that. The third time the Brewers and Dodgers have met in the playoffs, with the Dodgers winning 2 of them, both of them. The Dodgers, this will be their 8th NLCS in the last 13 years, and their 17th NLCS in history. Polanco, they're going to go the short way. That's a smart move. You get the lead runner. You don't have Couldn't get the double play, but you'll get the lead runner. That's fine. So it's the 17th time the Dodgers have been to the NLCS, a new record. The Brewers, this is their 4th LCS appearance. And they've won 1 LCS. That was 1982 against the Angels. They were actually down. Weren't they down 2-0 to the Angels? Yeah, they were. They were down 2-0 to the Angels. And then the next 3 games were in Milwaukee. And the Brewers easily used home field advantage. Naylor Rock. How's that off? So, yeah. It should be very, 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 very interesting. Troublemaker is in my stream, isn't she? Not a troublemaker. Troublemaker. Naylor. This better not be a black cat moment. Damn it, it is. A single. And Polanco the third. Thanks a lot. I don't need a black cat moment. Well, Suarez is at the plate. She's always curious to see what's close to it. Yeah, my basement windows don't really have a ledge. All that. She's always trying to see if there's like animals and all that. So yeah, we'll talk about the NHL story. It's 6:00. Time for Thanksgiving dinner. Nope, I don't have Thanksgiving dinner. I already did on Saturday. Suarez to center. Oh, did he get it? I think he did. He did. Farshow did it. That prevents the Mariners from taking the lead. That was a gigantic catch from Farshow. Well, let's see if momentum helps out and all that. Wow, this is amazing. Well, nice swing on that ball by Suarez. And then look at the center field. Look at Farshow. Yes, sir. That's a catch. Mariners aren't pitching, so that means that is a catch. We're done an hour. Well, we're in the bottom of the third, so we're not really at the 3 innings per hour thing. NHL scores from today. There's been 5 of them. So anyway, I know there's like recaps, but yeah, 5 games. There are games on later on tonight. Florida, Philly tonight. Florida is trying to go 4-0, even though they don't have Barkov for the year and they don't have Matty Tkachuk or Matty Ice for a while. Philly's 0-1-1. Devils play Columbus, both at 1-1. St. Louis at Vancouver on Prime, which is weird how you have a hockey game at 4:30 local time. Canucks are 1-1. Blues are 1-1. Kings go to Minnesota. They're 1-2. Minnesota 1-1. Utah goes to Chicago. Chicago has 1 point in 3 games. Utah at least has a win as a mammoth. Buffalo, Colorado. Cale Makar got a car. Accident car. Call Cale Makar. He scores. McKinnon scores twice. Damn it! I forgot to check my fantasy hockey and change the players and all that to make sure that everything happens. So yeah, I completely forgot to check my fantasy hockey teams because players that could have started today. Yeah, I have 5 games and all that. So yeah, that's kind of awkward. So yeah, Blue Jays 3-3 right now. Yeah, it always makes me off when you forget to do your fantasy stuff and all that. Blue Jay fans in the 500 levels and all that. That's just amazing. You're going to talk to them and all that. That's great. So anyone heard? Well, Latang's day-to-day. Kutchkov. How long is Kutchkov out for? We'll miss 1 week of action. So Vasilevsky basically has to save my butt and all that for goaltending. The Cup 2025 with the Kitchener team. Kachuk's day-to-day. Joshua Norris is on the IR. So, wait, how long is he up for? He'll be out for 8 weeks. Man, I'll have to get rid of Norris. And I already have 2 IR spots for Fetty and Bafferson. I don't think I can take care of him. And he's going to be out 8 weeks, so I don't have the patience. Yeah, I don't have the patience. So I'm going to have to try to add a center, I guess, because that's what Norris is. Trent Frederick looks decent. Sam Carrick, Ryan Hartman. Hartman could work out, I think. Yeah, I think Ryan Hartman will work out, and then I'll just dump off Josh Norris. Has already played a no for today. Oh, I have to wait till tomorrow? Oh, I have to wait till tomorrow. Remind myself that the cup, I have to make a change. Barger's at the plate. He pops it up to left field. So, yeah, I'm just going to remind myself the cup to get Hartman in for Norris. Get rid of Josh Norris and put Ryan Hartman in. Do we need to know the extension thing off the mound? Really? That really ticks me off because it's like, those are advanced stats I really don't care about. Fucking hockey and all that. I don't know how I could lose with Hellebuck and Aiden Hill. I check every week. Hannafin's day-to-day. Wait, did they say he was out for a while? The opener. Yeah. All right. Got everything going. So, yeah. That is that. So, yeah, McKinnon scored twice. Cale Makar scoring a goal. That's great. Tage Thompson was the Buffalo goal scorer. Chopper the second. Damn. I thought I guess that was foul or something because I thought he was out. Anthony Cirelli scored twice and Tampa beats Boston. Cirelli scored Gord and then Boston's Middlestad and then Tampa's Holmberg scored the winning goal. Jordan Harris and Morgan Geeky scored, but it was over. Tampa wins 4-3. Nashville, Ottawa. UC Saros does his job. 4-1. Marchessault, O'Reilly, Marchessault, and Cole Smith for Nashville. Kirk down the right field line. Caught. Ridley Greek for Ottawa. Islanders, Winnipeg. Jets win 5-2. Morgan Barron, Nito Niederreiter, Logan Stanley. I don't think he was a Kitchener Ranger. No, he is a Kitchener Ranger, wasn't he? No, he's from Waterloo, but I don't think he played for the Kitchener Rangers. Oh, no, he did. I keep thinking Logan Stanley did play for the Kitchener Rangers. Yeah, he did. He played for the Kitchener Rangers. Logan Stanley did. Well, a goal for him. Oh, good for you. Tanner Pearson, also a native of Kitchener, although he didn't play for the Kitchener Rangers. He played for the who did Tanner Pearson play for in the OHL? I think Owen Sound or something. But yeah, Tanner Pearson. Then he scored for the Jets. And then Mark Scheifele, also a Kitchener native, but he was from Barrie. So 3 Kitchener natives scoring for the Jets. So I should be a Jets fan because you got 3 Kitchener natives. J.G. Pachot and Emil Heineman for the Jets scoring. And the Leafs lose 3-2. Dylan Larkin scored in the first period, then JVR, James Van Riemsdyk. I'm surprised he's still in the game, but yeah, he did it. 2 balls, 1 strike to Farsho. 2-2 now. Matthew Nice scoring, then John Croc scoring to tie the game, and then Mason Appleton with less than a minute left. Of course it would. Leafs are cursed. The Leafs are so freaking cursed, it's not even funny. We couldn't beat Detroit. We got swept by Detroit in the home and home. All 3. So, yeah, the Blue Jays, sometimes they just tick me off. Well, the Leafs, they tick me off a lot. I'm a long-suffering Leaf fan. What do you expect? Well, I got to expect something better. Here we go. Payoff pitch coming up. Strike 3. Eek. Well, Logan gets us 3-3 after 3. The perfect numbers game. Yeah, I can't believe the Leafs lose to the fucking Red Wings. Oh, I talked about that. Turn on notifications. I thought I turned off notifications. Back. What the fuck is he talking about? Bill thinks that the Blue Jays game got bumped up because of Thanksgiving. Yeah, he thought that the game was at 8 o'clock Eastern time for game 2 of Blue Jays Mariners, but nope. They wanted to start the Dodgers Brewers series LCS in prime time, and they'll get the second primetime game at 8 o'clock because there'll be a travel day for the Blue Jays against the Mariners. Will the Blue Jays going to Western United States, close to the British Columbia border, at 1-1, or will the Blue Jays be down 0-2 and almost all of a sudden to fumble because only that comeback in 2015 in the ALDS have the Blue Jays been down 2-love in a series and have won a series. 85, they weren't down 2-0. They were up 3-1. Well, they were up 2-0 on the Royals and fumbled. 89, they were down 2-0 to the A's. One game 3, and then, of course, that was the game. Game 4 was when Canseco went into the fifth deck and kind of screwed the Blue Jays. 91, the Blue Jays, I think, split in Minnesota, but they couldn't win for crap at home. And then, of course, you know how Mike Pagulero in game 3 did his job. Yeah, everyone wearing everyone wearing a Thanksgiving turkey on his head and all that. So yeah, so that was that. 92, the Blue Jays were not down 0-2. Well, the Oakland, it was 1-1 after 2, and in the World Series, it was 1-1 after 2. 93, the Blue Jays were up 2-0 on the White Sox in the ALCS, and then split the first 2 against Philly in the World Series. 2015, down 0-2 in the best of 5. I basically said it was game, set, match. Fly ball to the left, no play. That's got to be a falla. So anyway, yeah, that's what happened. Ken Zone has done everything wrong in this series. The fact is that, the Blue Jays, you got everything going for them, hopefully. Yeah. So yeah, it's 3-3. A little high. I thought hockey pucks. I thought that thing, the Uptown Girl. But oh yeah, this was 8 weeks ago, a Degrassi thing. I said Emma was not always the best for moving on from things. Season 8. Take the shooting, for instance, and the fact that she had to have been worried. She would lose Manny and Liberty in college was a deeper issue than the maybe she had abandonment issues. And it was, I think someone actually talked about it in a case study in this group. To get abandonment and trust issues post-Rick. Stop. Turn off notifications. Yeah, that post, I gotta be careful because that YouTube would have probably gone on my butt if it was a few seconds later. Because they don't like it if your stuff. So yeah. Worst of all, it made me lose my train of thought. Well, Robles is on a 1-2 pitch. Ah, oh, come on. I was in low in the zone. That's a strike 3. Frick. What are you on, Ump? What are you on? He's probably on his last legs. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's what. So, anyway. Yeah. So the Blue Jays, well, they've got to do something here. Robles to center field. Varsho casually goes for the ball. That's 2 Otos. So, yeah, that's what happens. So, yeah, that's the thing here. We'll see what JP does here. So, got a lot of things to worry about here. Crawford to left field, back. Schneider makes the catch. Beautiful. Threw you down, up, threw down. Good job for you, Savage. And I think, yeah, I gotta take a bathroom break. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Yep, Rogers Center, fourth inning. And it's 3-3 Blue Jays. Oh, and they have changed their pitcher. Bosardo is coming in. First appearance in the LCS. I'm actually shocked they took Logan Gilbert out of the game. I mean, Yi Savage was staying in the game for the Blue Jays. I'm actually surprised. Unless something's wrong. I think the confidence level of Logan Gilbert went down, and the Mariners are basically saying, you can't let this happen. I'll be up front. I think that was a mistake by the Mariners. Hopefully the Blue Jays can counter that, obviously. Because, the whole Blue Jays thing with me, of course, being Toronto. Pitch in the way. Left field. Ooh. Was that foul? Yeah, he's casual about it. That's definitely foul. Yeah, I hate how they kind of changed the seating in Toronto. Down the left field line is that you can't really tell right down the line if it's fair or foul. Like the left field thing is a little too close to the action, if you will. Clement, excuse me, swing, that's a strike. Because honestly, when you look down the left field, right field line, you should see the chalk line and all that and make the perfect assumption through the TV cameras. But no, they built a little too far out. Should have been a little backwards. But Clement, chopper. Ooh, I thought he beat it out. How close was that? Oh, Raleigh. Oh, boy. Raleigh, yeah. The old saying, I hurt myself. Oh, that's a second call to the thing. Oh, my gosh, is Raleigh hurt? That could be a game changer. But, yeah, he's got great speed. The question in my mind is, did he beat it out? Watch Raleigh, and he stumbled. Oh, that was close. My question is, he shifted. Oh, did he get clipped by the pitcher by accident? No, Clement was out. I think Bizzardo clipped him. Yeah. Or he basically put too much force onto his throw, and it's straight through and all that. But the good news for the Mariners is that he's fine, and he got the out. Schneider is on his way. Well, I know John Schneider, but Davis is no relation, wearing the goggles and the mustache and all that. Kind of makes people with glasses very happy to have him. All that. Here's Schneider. Popped up. Oh. What was that out of the way? Bat boy. With a stool. What's he doing out on the field? Technically, it should be the Blue Jays staffers out there with a stool. And why would he be there as the bat boy? Because, he should be back in the dugout. That kind of makes me puzzled and all that. That does puzzle me and all that. Low ball one. Yeah, that puzzles me. Why you would have a Seattle guy with a bat boy? I know he's employed by the Blue Jays technically, because I don't think Seattle would bring a bat boy all the way from Seattle to Toronto. Jimenez on deck. He got the borderline pitch, strike two. Damn. So, yeah, Blue Jays have to win this game to put the split and at least force a game 5 on Friday, because it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And streams will happen all 3 days. Well, I don't know what Thursday's going to be like, though, too. I have to check my thing. Schneider should have swung, but he didn't. Strike 3. Mariners stuff up fast. J-Rod with the 3-run home run, and then the Blue Jays scored 2 in the first and 1 in the second. Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah, they said 6. Yeah, well, Wikipedia said 6 o'clock, but the official one is 8:30. So logically, someone's wrong. Wikipedia, I think, is wrong because the Major League Baseball said the Mariners Blue Jays is at 8:30 on Thursday, which means that there will be a stream for sure. Game 5 would be Friday, the early game. If the ALCS ends in a sweep, which won't happen, the NLCS game 4 will move to 8 o'clock. Well, that game is automatic because it's game 4. October 18th is the off day. Then the Blue Jays host the Mariners on Sunday, and then on Monday they play at 8 o'clock. Yeah, so of course that's what it is. Yeah, I'm just looking through my Facebook stuff. And Jimenez fouls it off 2-2. Oh, I thought he fouled it off, but that's going to catch third out. 3-3 after 4. So, yeah. Yeah. There's 8 guys. One more. Yeah, the Blue Jays. Have to do something through 4 innings. Well, I'm going to eat because I haven't really eaten anything for a few hours. Yeah, I got to eat. After the game, I got to go to work. How do I do that? I got to take out the recycling. I don't take out the trash because in Kitchener, it's every it's every other week. Now you have to do the trash. And it's not trash week because I get paid on Friday. Every week I get paid is a yard waste day. You have to put the yard waste bags out on that. So, yeah. All right. Just check my stuff and all that. Got a few more creations before I kind of have to do other things. So, yeah. So, creating the OTP and the tribute, the Sandy Alomar Sr. tribute game, because Sandy Alomar passed away, and he was the father of Roberto Alomar, who's a legend in Toronto. His number 12 was retired for the Blue Jays, but it's not anymore because of his off-the-field bullcrap. So, yeah, October 13th. I keep thinking it's Jose Bautista bat flip day, but that's tomorrow. And it's an off day, too. So, yeah. So, Yi Savage is out for the 5th. I'm actually surprised because, Mariners pulled Gilbert. Trust in Trey. Kind of trust in him. I think the plan is to pitch him in the 5th, and then once he gets out of the 5th, if the Jays can score for him, then he's the pitcher of record. Here comes Cal, who the Mariners fans were probably breathing heavily after seeing him almost down and out on the field. Today started out fast, 5 runs in the first inning of the game, which actually was more than what happened last week. So there's a Resurrena. Chopper too short. They got to go quickly. Oh, that's a terrible throw. And that's in the bullpen? Yep, that's in the bullpen. I mean, in the dugout. So Resurrena goes to second. So Jimenez, I think, got a little too greedy, or he should have just hung onto the ball. Watch this. Oh, that's wide, very wide. I don't know if he would have gotten him out. He spun, but he spun too far left. Yep, that's in the camera well. And Suarez, I don't know what he's doing out there. Yep. So are they saying something about Suarez interfering because he was out in the pen? It looked like he was out in the dugout steps and may have interfered with it. I wonder what they'll do. They'll probably I think they want to put Randy on first base. My feeling is they'll probably put him on first base. Watch this. And Yeah, it hit Suarez in the back. What the heck was he doing on by the top of the dugout in the first place? I think you just put Randy at first base. I think it's just a one base error instead of two base error. Yeah, Suarez, what the heck are you doing? Right there. Yeah, Schneider is complaining. Well, the 6 umpires are going to go in there and they're going to say something here. Of course, I have everything on mute or low volume because I don't want the baseball world, I don't want the baseball league and YouTube to get pissed at me because this is a live stream. So Schneider, I think, is saying that Suarez interfered, but maybe they're saying that it was going to be in the dugout anyway. So I wonder what they'll do. It was a terrible throw. That's definitely a one base error. Yeah, and Suarez deflected it into the camera well. Well, he's okay. But I guess they are keeping Randy at second, aren't they? Yep, they're keeping Randy at second base. Or, nope, they're going to the replay. They're going to New York. I think they're going to determine if, I don't think they'll call Arozarena out. It was definitely an error that he would have been at first base. But I think they're going to try to talk and say if Arozarena, if there's a problem because, they're on the bullpen phone because Savage is definitely going to need some help. He might not last the fifth inning, so he won't get eligible for the W himself. We all down to the bullpen battles. But yes, Suarez kind of interfered in all that. Like, one way I'm looking at it is that they'll just give him first. They'll take away the base, and Arozarena will play first base. Or what they could do is, say that the throw was going to be a two base error anyway because nobody had made an attempt at the ball before it got all that. That's what I'm thinking they're doing. So it looks like, yeah, that could be boosted up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know why my microphone actually was that low. And did they intentionally walk someone? They did. I think that's going to be the end of Savage. Yeah, they intentionally walked somebody. Yeah, they intentionally walked Raleigh. And that's going to be the end of Savage's day. I mean, that was definitely not his fault on the error. But I think it's a case of rather be safe than sorry. Better be safe than sorry. So the two batters are Savage's responsibility. The fans are going to give him a bit of a standing ovation and all that. So yeah, they're giving him the ovation he deserves. I mean, it's tough. You give up a 3-run home run to Julio Rodriguez and everyone that's it. Game, set, match. He's going to be roughed up and the Mariners have gotten him. But no, it's 3-3. There's still time. There is still time. Well, the fact is that the Blue Jays have got to do something, and I know they got to do something. Because if they don't do something, they're going to be hosed. Oh, yeah, I got to make sure that when I do Sandy Alomar, I say SR for senior. Because they'll get confused with Sandy Alomar Jr. All that. So at 6:30, I know Inside Pitch is going to do something at 8 o'clock. They'll start RJL starting his 1999 ALCS. between the Yankees and the Rangers. Definitely not Trey's fault. I mean, all that. McFarland. He did give up that home run to Aaron Judge in Game 3. But if it could just get out of this mess, they intentionally walked Raleigh. Because in baseball, you can call for tell the guy you're umpire you're going to intentionally walk him. So Julio with 3-run home run, he has 6 RBIs. I don't think you intentionally load the bases with no outs. Fruit fly was getting close to my monitor. To my screen, so my laptop screen. So, yeah, I'm hoping that when I go to work tomorrow, the Jays and Mariners, at worst, it's 1-1, and at least the Jays might have something there. Nice, 98, and J Rod can't get to it. He's a pretty good player, Julio Rodriguez. There are some players on the Mariners I can't. Excuse me, I burped. I can't stand. So there's nothing really wrong. It's just that, 1 second. Two. In the heart of the plate, and he didn't swing. So, yeah, a lot of things are happening. Polanco's pitching. It's 3-3, headed to the 5th. All right, Polanco, well, if the Jays can just get him into a double play, everything will be okay. Hey, that rhymes. Bill's messaging me all over the place, so I got to answer him. Sandy Sr. Yeah. Uh-oh, Polanco. Uh-oh, no. Ah! Are you fucking kidding me? It's now 6-3. Sandy Elmore Sr. Yeah, I did a tribute game. Sandy Elmore Jr. for the 95 Indians against the 69 California Angels when Sandy Elmore did play second base for the team and all that. Yeah, that just snuck over the blue line. That would have been a double. That probably would have made it 4-3. 6-3. Once again, the Blue Jays are down by 3. Once again. So, well, let's hope the Blue Jays can do the same thing as they did in the first place, down 3-0, and then win the next, and then come back to tie or take the lead. The Jays had the lead for 4 innings yesterday. 1-0 thanks to George Springer. At least the Blue Jays have done better offensively. They scored 3 times today, not once like yesterday. Yeah, 6-3. You can hear a pin drop in T-Dot probably. But we came back from 3 runs down before. Naylor at ball 2. Oh, and Naylor. Again, he feels some pain because in the first inning he fouled the ball off his ankle. Now he feels in pain. He's 2 for 2 though too. I mean, this would be huge. They're congratulating Polanco, but yeah, he felt something. Oh, he's grimacing. Ache. That hurts. Yeah, Lucas had to come out of the game for the Blue Jays. Yeah, he took once. Oh, he went to step and then he must have pulled something. They might have to force Naylor from the game or something. Yeah, I know a lot of people would probably say that if I don't know what they would have done with the whole throw in the bullpen, but I think because nobody was close to that throw as it headed for the dugout steps, even it probably would have landed in if nobody was there. If Suarez wasn't there and he strikes out, big strikeout for Harland. Boy, he either strikes out or gives up home runs. You could see the deflating thing. Yep, he gave up 5 runs. So he was in charge. He was responsible for the guys on first and second. So that means he is doomed to be the losing pitcher. But it won't be Gilbert who wins the game. Who will get the win for the Mariners? He has the last 5 innings. So yeah, I think it's the next guy. I think it's Bizzardo. Suarez has done nothing in this series. 1 for 6. Takes a swing at a bad pitch. 0-2. Well, Fluharty is now in the pen. My question is, who do you start in game 4, Bassett or Scherzer? Well, Farland strike 3 on that one. Yeah, he struck out the side, but he gave up the long ball to Polanco. So basically, yeah, you have to take the bad with the good. And right now, the bad is the bad. Take this time to pause for mutation. All right, so Springer's up. Basardo is back on the mound. I think, yeah, Basardo would get the win and all that because Logan Gilbert didn't go the 5 innings. Springer decides to go away from the pitch, but that is a strike zone. 1-for-1 with a double and a walk and a run across the plate, which is good for Springer right now. But for his team, not so much. Ooh, borderline, but they called it a ball. 1-1. Boy, this would be flattening because the Blue Jays down Love 2 in a series only have come back once, and that was against the Rangers. Now, bear in mind that 2015 event and 2022, the Blue Jays did play the first 2 games at home and then got taken up by Texas, and then went to Texas for games 3 and 4 to win the force of Game 5 in the LDS in Toronto, and that was the Batista bat flip game. But that's the only time the Blue Jays have come back from Love 2 down. Springer down the line. Oh, wow. How the frick did he do that? And Naylor has been like toughing it out. I don't know if he'll stay in the game though. Fuck. Like the guy has been like laying out. That was huge. And Josh Naylor is not a small man. What a dive. He really dived out there. Springer did the right thing with Canadian sportsmanship by tapping him, saying, "Are you okay?" and all that. Watch this. Yeah, that's kind of sportsmanship and all that. That has to be. Here's Lucas, who's 2 for 2. Looks at a strike. Wow. I know exactly what's going to be in store for me from Bill come the 9th inning. We're down Love 2. I know he'll be really on top of me and all that. Like, I'll snap back at him and say, "I don't need this right now, Bill. Be quiet." Because, if he starts snarling at me, I will snarl back at him. I usually don't. I usually take it in good nature. Lucas, yay, right through the hole. He's 3 for 3. So, thankfully, he's healthy. A healthy Lucas could help. But, 3 hits. Yeah, he has more hits today, Lucas does, than the Blue Jays did in the first game with 2. And that was confirmed to be the worst hit total in Blue Jays postseason history. I mean, they've had some craptacular games in the LDS, like in a few LDS matches in 2015 and 16, but never like that, having 2 hits. I think they've been shut out a couple times in their history, but they've never, yeah. There's got to be like a thing here. Postseason results. Here we go. Playoff history. Yeah, but no, that's the series. Postseason results. Yes, but within the postseason, game. Camps or Chubs said that postseason results. Yeah, they lost, but they didn't win any. They didn't win. We don't know. Yep, so. Yeah, I think the Jays got shut out by Kurt Schilling in 1993. That's right. I remember Kurt Schilling threw a shutout in Game 5 of the 93 World Series because the Phillies bullpen was gassed, and he basically had to go end to end because they had nobody left in the pen, and he threw a 5-hit shutout against the Blue Jays. Yeah, he threw a shutout against the Blue Jays in 93. I remember that. So, yeah, the Blue Jays have been shut out at least once in postseason history. That was 93. Guerrero, oof. No, sir. They've been calling that half swing not over the plate the whole time, 2-2. The Mariners got away with a couple. Yep, so, I'm wearing the gray Batista jersey on Wednesday, no matter what. because, they're on the road. They're road team. Pitch. Chopper. They're going to go to first. Might as well go to first because you got to get Vladdy out. Get the sure out. It's 2 outs, so yeah, you're okay. Barger is going to come in. I pulled the Addy Barger yesterday, so I'm going to try to see if I can get some voodoo to help Barger out. Hopefully the Barger card works out for the Blue Jays. It's 6-3. I've got a few things I got to try to create in one undershare. Barger, foul. Yeah, he hasn't got to hit this LCS, so now's the time. Now's the time. Ball 1. Gabe Spire, left-hander who pitched yesterday, he's up in the pen. I don't think he's related to Justin Spire. Or is he? I have to know. I've got to know. He was born. Gabe Spire. Is he related to somebody? Oh, he's the Okay, he's the nephew of Chris Spire, who played for the Giants in the Expos. Yeah, he is the first cousin of Justin Spire. Okay. So, yeah, so the name is connected. Okay, fair enough. We're in the bottom of the 5th. We'll be done 2 hours of action, but the 3 innings per hour rule is not going to be in effect. Yeah, it's going to be a tough off day tomorrow. I mean, got to watch the Leaf game. Although I kind of don't want to because the Leafs have lost back-to-back games and all that. It's going to be tough because, well, what hat do I wear to work? Well, I guess it's the Patriots. I could wear the Alouettes hat too. But, yeah, can't wear the Leaf hat. Can't wear the Jays hat if they lose because technically when the team loses, I can't put the cap on. I hate it. Barger, chopper, fuck. He underhands it. Well, another inning gone by, so now we'll go back to mute. Sorry about that, Cleveland baseball fan. I was actually trying to create a video and all that, and I don't want YouTube getting pissed off. So yeah, sorry about that. So there's Cleveland baseball fan, my number one guy who almost has made number one in top fans for my streams and all that. Hour 55 in. Betcha you had family over. That's why you've missed out. But that's okay. You know what? You know, it's Canadian Thanksgiving, and lots of people are probably not wanting to eat turkey and listen to my stream. No issues. I pulled a double feature at the movie theater. Oh, do you work at the movie theater or not, Tim? I I think you might. I have a feeling you work at the movie theater and all that. I don't know if you do. Anyway, flu Hardy's in. No, I'm a federal employee. Yeah, you're a federal employee. Oh boy. But anyway, yeah. Okay. Good enough. I'm not gonna press you further for the U.S. government. Yes, I'm aware, Tim. A federal employee does work for the U.S. government. I'm aware of that. Like a postal worker worked for the government. That's what it is in Canada. Like Canada postal workers are federally funded, like the federal government and all that. So yeah, that's all right for the U.S. government. Garver to center. Uh-oh, fuck no. Oh, it's off the wall. Varsho, what are you doing? Like, you couldn't go after it? Garver's got a triple. Boy, oh boy, Garver should be the guy who's the DH, not Canzone. Yeah, they put Garver at Mitch Garver. Surprise. Yeah, I'm like, the Mariners need to have somebody, and it's Mitch Garner. So everyone got today off, but I'm taking the rest of this week and next Monday off. I had Friday off. I'm spending it in coloscopy. Ooh, baby. That must be painful and all that. When was it? Was that December? No, November 2023. I had to have my gut checked and all that. I had to have the camera down the front to take a look in my stomach if there was some issues, but there wasn't anything of note, so I got lucky. The prep was the worst. Yeah, prep is not really the best part, but yeah, you had an endoscopy. Thank you. I knew it. Yeah, I had an endoscopy just for my stomach issues, but they found nothing. And like I went for blood work in January 2024. They didn't really find anything abnormal. So it was like, what the heck was going on? And then I went to my doctor in March 2024, and he basically said something along the lines of, well, maybe you have sleep issues. And I always had sleep issues for the longest time. I couldn't for months on end. Well, that's a nice play at third base to first. That's one out. Garver can't move anywhere because Barger would have thrown him out. But yeah, with 2024 and all that, yeah, I got prescribed sleep medication and all that because I couldn't sleep for longer than 4 hours at one time. And for a lot of 2023, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get a solid sleep. And there would be like 2-3 nights in a row in which my sleep was really hit hard and all that I just couldn't sleep for whatever. And basically I was really dozing off at work and all that. And they're going to take Garver out for Rivas. Kind of a weird move as a pinch runner. Leo Rivas, he's the hero for the Mariners because if it wasn't for his single in Game 5 in the 7th inning, I think the Tigers would have taken Seattle. And a lot of people would probably say, well, that would have been the best bet. Maybe the Blue Jays would have taken care of the Tigers and probably wouldn't see Scooble till Game 3 in Detroit. I know a lot of Blue Jay fans are probably going to be yelling at me saying, this is your fault. You should have said Detroit instead of Seattle and all that. Well, dude, like I pick based on who I think it is. Like I don't really have a beef with Seattle or Detroit, although my neighbor is a Detroit Tigers fan. Well, he is from the Detroit area. Yeah, so Blue Jackets game starts soon. So I'm just basically saying lurking is allowed. Like you can keep it. You can keep it here. Like you can keep it here. You don't have to leave the stream and all that. You can lurk and all that. I'll allow it. And all that. So yeah, Crawford. Let's see if he can get the RBI. Hopefully not. Of course, the Blue Jays. Home opener against the Devils. I'll still be here. Good. Yeah, the Devils and all that. Blue Jays are at home, so with a 3-run deficit, I'm probably going to still be streaming for hopefully the rest of the day and all that. If the game really gets out of hand, then I'll just stop and then get out the door. I know RJL has a game at 8 o'clock, so yeah, RJL has game at 8 too. Because inside pitch, he's doing the tabletop thing. Fisher is back on the bullpen mound. He was there in the first inning after Julio Rodriguez went deep off of Yesevich. Yesevich is the loser of record, if anything, if the Blue Jays don't tie this game up, because he's given up 5 runs. So he is the pitcher of record and all that. Logan Gilbert will not be the pitcher of record for the Mariners because he didn't go 5. So that means that I think Pizarro is in line for the win, if I'm not mistaken, because I know you have to go 5 innings. You rarely see a pitcher go less than 5. Ow, off the noggin. Yeah, he's looking to be possibly done by mid-November, and he'll take the rest of the year off from baseball. Well, I don't think he'll take till mid-November for his stuff and all that. If it is a best of 7 LCS, although let's see, Crawford base hit 7-3 eek. So that's a looping single. So LCS, well, that's 21 days. Well, 7 plus 7 is 14. So at worst, he'll probably be done by early November. Well, they're going to get Fluharty out and put in Frazier. Blue Jay fans are really upset. I feel so bad for those Blue Jay fans that basically they chose this over the Leaf game. Well, the Leafs choked in the final minute against the Red Wings, losing the game. And so, I thought, well, I wore the Leafs hat in game 4 when they beat the Yankees. I thought, okay, maybe, just maybe, we're going to win if I change my outlook on things. But it doesn't look that way. So we have down 0-2. Blue Jays, one series ever won down 0-2, and that was the LDS against Texas in 2015. That had the Batista bat flip. Oh, first NFL coaching casualty today. Dallas? I'm going to predict NFL coaching casualty. It could have been the Jets. It could be Aaron Glenn too, but I don't know if they would get rid of Aaron Glenn. Tennessee. Oh, Tennessee got rid of their coach. Huh. Okay. I thought it would be the Jets or even Dallas because Dallas choked against Carolina. I figured that they were basically going to make a coaching change. So, yeah. That's for sure. Everything else is that. Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee, they would be winless if it wasn't for that miracle against Arizona. They were down 18 points, or was it 15? 18. They were down 18 points in the whole game. Take Arizona to beat Tennessee. My pick'em would have been at 500, and I would be doing it decently. But yeah, Tennessee just had to pull a rabbit out of their hat against Arizona. I think they play the Pats next, don't they? Hang on, here it is. Let's see, what's next for my Pats? Yes, Tennessee. So Tennessee's got a new coach, and the Pats head to Tennessee to take on the Titans. The Pats are 4-2. That is, I think the Pats, I would love to say the Pats are the most surprising team in the NFL, but I can't. The Colts are 5-1 with Daniel freaking Jones at pivot or quarterback. I mean, Daniel Jones was brutalized as a Giant, and now with the Colts, he's just putting on a clinic and all that. I know the Colts go to LA to face the Chargers on Sunday. So, yeah, that's just brutal. that Indy's 5-1 for some reason. How the heck is Daniel Jones doing it? I know that probably Jonathan Taylor is running the ball up the gut a lot because he is a good runner, mind you. So yeah, it's like, how are they doing it? And Baltimore, of course, is the biggest disappointment. But throughout, Lamar's hurt, and Baltimore does have the bye week 7, week 8. They'll be back in action against Chicago or Chicago, I should say. But yeah, two NFL games. Buffalo, Atlanta starts in about 10 minutes, and Chicago, Washington starts at 8:00. Hopefully for the Bears, they don't have the same deja vu feeling as Washington wins on a Hail Mary, all that, because that was last year. I can't believe that was last year. But it was last year when the Bears defender freaking tapped the ball, and then the Washington receiver was just right there conveniently. Pitch on the way. Azarina fell. Yep. So, yeah, I got Buffalo and Washington today. I am 9-4 in my pick'em. So that's good with 2 to left. I would love to get to double digits for the 5th time in 6 weeks. I don't think I've ever started NFL season pick'em season with 5 double digits out of 6. 5 of the first 6 weeks being double digits, because week 4 was disaster 6. Week 5, was a disaster 6 and 8. But I've had 10, 10, 10, 11. I need both wins to get to 11. What was that sound? Was that me? I thought I heard something. Anyway, 2 outs. Big strikeout by Braden Fisher. So yeah, so tomorrow's an off day for the streams because the Jays aren't playing, and I don't really feel like doing a Leaf stream and all that. I'm probably going to just avoid the Leaf game whatsoever and all that. See if maybe avoiding the Leafs has given me something. Oh fuck! Oh, foul! Who? I bet Cal Raleigh just basically iced the game, and then I would probably just cancel the stream and all that. Yeah, I was so close to just saying, you know what, I'll pull some cards and then we'll just get out of here, and then focus on RJL and all that. Yeah, I just don't know what's going to happen, but I know that I'm going to get blasted on social media for saying Seattle over Detroit to face the Blue Jays. I mean, I'm nothing against Seattle, and the Mariners would make their first World Series in history, and that would be and baseball would be the first of the big 4 leagues. You have NBA, NFL, and NHL. That would be the first league to have all their teams reach a final at the same. Well, reach the final. All the franchises not in history, but like current franchises would make it through and all that. Yeah, so all 30 franchises would have at least one trip to the final. Of course, that does count relocations and all that. Oh, did he go? No, sir. I kind of figured. So yeah, so the fact is, yeah, every team in baseball, minus Seattle, has been to at least one final. Even Milwaukee, and that was 1982, and they're trying to get to their second final in history, their first in 43 years since Harvey Wallbangers, and they lost a tough Game 7 to the Cardinals that series. It was the Sud series, 2-2, 2 outs. Well, we got them, but we pay a price, giving up 4 runs. No, sorry, we give up 1 run. So it's 7-3. So it looks like it's bad luck. I am just going to mute for a little bit and then come back in the bottom of the inning. All right, so back to unmuting because I had to do like just creating something on Filmora on Wondershare, and Carlos Vargas is now at the on the mound. So if ever the Blue Jays need this win to do something, they have to do it right now. So now it's up to that number. All right. So yeah, RIP Sandy Alomar Sr. That's right. Yep. Father of Sandy Jr. and Roberto, and tribute game on the channel. Sandy Sr. versus Sandy Jr. Yeah, I'm just writing down the details. 1969 Angels versus 1995 Indians. I know that technically I could have had a Sandy Sr. match against Roberto Alomar in the 93 Blue Jays. But, I mean, Sandy Sr. and Sandy Jr. both were baseball players. So I'm like, it would be fair. And you know, yeah, Tim, I think you'll be happy. You know, I put Cleveland in a tribute game and all that. I think that's the first. I don't remember how many times Cleveland has been featured in a tribute game. All that. I'll have to do some snooping in my tribute games thing to do with Cleveland baseball and all that. I have a feeling it's probably like only 2 times, but yeah, I'll take a gander in my playlist and all that. So yeah, everything is just like playlist and all that recently added. Kirk fouls it off, still 1-2. Yep, so tribute games. So it's probably, there we go. Full list 127. All right. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how many Cleveland things I did. Well, I did the one to the super fan, John Adams, and his drum using MLB The Show a while ago. So I remember that, but I don't know if I still have it on my thing here. Because honestly, I don't remember. Gaylord Perry. I had the tribute game with Cleveland. Oh, I had to create Gaylord Perry. So let's see. That for sure. Let's see here. Put Cleveland in. Let's see. Tribute match McShannon. Fight a blue tribute match. I think I took the John Adams Cleveland drummer guy out. And all that. I think I took him out. Can I roll the second or the first? He's not a good runner. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the MLB Baltimore. I definitely wouldn't have him for Cleveland, would I? Nope. And that's San Francisco, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to go through all my stuff and all that for baseball purposes, of course. Then I switched from MLB The Show to PC Replay Baseball once Willie Mays left. So Peta, I don't think I would have put Cleveland in. Let's see here. Chichi, PC Replay Basketball, PC Replay and Crane Pool, but why would I have Cleveland? Pete Rose, but I wouldn't have Cleveland on it because why would I? Louis Tion. Is Cleveland in this one or no? Or did I put Cincinnati? I'll have to remember. DeRico Bigmon McCurdy. I know he was a Cleveland Indian at one time. McCurdy was. I think the Jays traded him to Cleveland. If I remember. There's a tribute game for Rocky Colavito. Yes, that's definitely Cleveland. Bob Uecker, I don't think I would have had him for Cleveland. Chet Lemon, I think I had him against Cleveland. Yeah. Ron Taylor, no. Diego Segui, I don't think I would have him against Cleveland. I don't know why. Dave Cooper Parker, no way. Bobby Jenks, maybe against Cleveland. Maybe not. Jim Clancy, I don't remember who I put him in. I'll start tribute to Hulk Hogan. The PC Replay Ron Sandberg match. Obviously, I didn't have Cleveland. Eric Markin's tribute match. But that was all the Blue Jays. Davey Johnson. I don't think I had anything to do with Cleveland. Mike Greenwald didn't have anything to do with Cleveland in any shape or form. Oh, Lundgren just said, Happy Thanksgiving to my Canadian friends. So, yep. So, okay. So, yep. I obviously did. I'm just gonna Facebook Tim for the tribute games. The tribute games involving the Blue Jays. Sure. Yeah. All that. So, anyway. So, yeah, the Blue Jays game ahead. The Blue Jays are in deep trouble. All that. Qualified for the 20. Wow. This is a gigantic minnow in the World Cup. You know, the World Cup is now at 48 teams instead of 32. Cape Verde. See, Cape Verde. They're in the World Cup. They beat Eswanti. So they're in the World Cup. So, yeah, it's brought a lot of minnows out there. Did I put him for Cleveland? I think I did. Yep. Oh, no. Cincy Boston 75. So, no. Rico, nope. That's not a Cleveland. Colafito, well, that's an obvious. Yeah. There's Colafito. Chet Lemon, no, the 77. No, it was the 77. The 77 White Sox and 84 Tigers. Clement, the center, looks like a dying quail. Nope, Jinx, nope. Jim Clancy was again the Battle of Toronto. All right. So yeah, so I'm just gonna give Tim the link once it's up on the channel. That'll be about 3 hours, I bet. Because I know that there's always the stupid rule of how many daily uploads you can have and all that. So that's what happened. Okay, I think I did everything right. Yep. I got all the stuff, all that thing. Okay, so I can cut down Bandicam 4.8 gigs. Now I can snatch that up in videos and all that. Yeah, it's gonna be like tough and all that. So yep, I've done what I did, and of course now is the painful reminder of the Blue Jays sucking so badly. So yeah, I got to deal with that. I got a couple of things I got to deal with as well. Hang on one sec. Okay, so use out. Nope. Oh, and Adobe Federer. Okay, so that's that. So it's down to Claudette and Kim. Yeah, it's down to Claudette and Kim to decide who gets to stay and all that. I think it would be Kim. Yep, Kim beats Claudette. So Kim won the thing. So I don't know. So yeah, so Yeah, just had to do a tennis thing. But yeah, like you come in on your first date and you don't win and all that. That's kind of the whole play and all that. So yeah, so that'll be that. So Kim beats Claudette to get into the tournament as a golfing thing. So that's big news for her. All right, so that will be that. And now we got to focus on the Mariners. They're in the 7th inning stretch, and Fisher is back on the bump. And a nice curveball swing and a miss. So yeah. Boy, if you're a Blue Jays fan, you're about ready to just be so disappointed. And history will not be kind of on the Blue Jays side. So yeah, so I feel so close. If the Mariners extend their lead, I think I'm going to be breaking cards and just ending the stream right there and then. I also have to work on garbage and recycling. I know it's dark outside now. It's like 7:20 p.m. and it's like dark. Yo-Yo Rodriguez is on the bullpen mound for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays were down 3-0. Rodriguez, J-Rod, was what gave them a 3-run home run off of Yesevich. But the Blue Jays rallied to tie the game at 3, and now thanks for another 3-run home run. Wonder when last LCS came back from 2-0 down, not named the 2004 Red Sox. I don't know. I think they were the last one, weren't they? From 2-0 down. Okay. That's a good question. That is a good question. I'll have to take a look. Baseball Almanac. LCS history. Okay. Baseball Almanac. So let's just see here. All right. Okay, so series that have to go 6 or 7 because you're down 0-2. It's a minimum 6 games. Dodgers Mets in 2024. I don't think the Mets were down. Well, the Dodgers, I don't think they lost. Yeah, Dodgers won game 1 against the Mets. Texas, Houston. I think Texas did that, didn't they? Oh no, wait. Every home team won in Texas versus Houston 2023, and Texas was up 2-9. The Astros would have done it in 2023. Yeah, the Astros nearly did in 2023. They were down 2-0 to Texas, but they won all 3 games at home. But Texas won the 2 home games. Arizona, Philly. Well, Philly won game 1, and game 2. No, I think it was the Phillies. Yeah, it was the Diamondbacks. Yes, it was. It was the 2023 Diamondbacks. 2023 D-backs. Tim, 0-2 versus Philly and 1. Yep, it was 2023. The Astros nearly pulled it off. But yeah, it's the 2023 Diamondbacks. Well, no, thanks to it should be thanks to baseballalmanac.com. Yeah, thanks to baseballalmanac.com because I searched LCS results. And you go over the link, and then you get the freaking the pop-up and all that. And then it said Phillies 2-0. I'm like, yeah, the Diamondbacks beat the Phillies in that series. Yeah, so yeah, you pulled it over and it said Phillies were up 2-0. But then the Diamondbacks won the next 2. Philly won game 5, going home with a chance to win the. Was it there? No, it was in Arizona. No, Philly was up 3-2 and then they came home, right? Or no, I'm wrong. It's in Arizona. Well, regardless. Philly had a chance to go. They were down. They were up 2-0. They won game 5, and then they lost game 6 and 7. All that. So yeah. So it's the 2023 Diamondbacks. So that wasn't far enough. Well, actually, that's the NL. I should have checked for the American League. Yeah, the American League. Okay, let's see here. That's for the American League game 1 in 2021. Oh, now they don't. They didn't give the. Oh, now they don't give the. They did. They did the pullover, but once 2022, you have to figure it out for yourself. So, yeah. So, let's see. Red Sox lost to the Astros in game 1 in 2021. Oh, man. Well, Big Maple went deep. It's 9-3. Well, then, this game is almost all but over. So, yeah. Astros won game 1 in 2021. The Red Sox didn't come back. Rays won game 1 in 2020, and they managed to stay in there. Houston Yankees. Yeah, Houston was up 2 games to none in the Yankees, but then won game 5 and 6, I think, if I remember correctly. Houston Yankees 2017. Astros won game 1 of the 2017 World thing 4-2. Let's see. Blue Jays were down 2-0 to the Royals. They forced at least a game 6, but they couldn't get to game 7. Boston 4-2 in 2013. Yeah, I think it was a split in Detroit or something like that. 2012, Texas, Detroit. I don't think. No, 2011, sorry. Yeah, I don't think so. 2011 saw. The Rangers beat the Rangers beat Texas, Detroit. So obviously the 2-0 comeback didn't even happen. Okay, 4-2 Texas in 2010. I don't think the Yankees won game 1. Yankees won game 1, but did they win game 2 in 2010? The answer is I don't think so. No, the Rangers won, so that was a split. Yankees Angels, I think the Yankees split at least the first 2 games. Tampa Boston, I think it was Tampa Boston, was it not? No, wait, Tampa was up 3-1, weren't they? Or no? Well, the Red Sox won game 1 in 2008. Then and the Rays won game 2. So yeah, so 1-1 there. 2007, I like to say. Honestly, I'd like to say 2007. The Red Sox won game 1. Oh no, wait, they came back to win. So yeah, they won 1 and then skipped the last 3. So yeah, that was it. The ALCS last 0-2 comeback was 2004 Sox. So yeah, teams with the most 20 points victories in NFL since 99. I don't know. Yeah, the dude had a couple of injury timeouts, and it looked like he was going to be out of the game. But yeah, that's basically it. So, well, I think this game is almost all but over. We've hit the 2.5-hour mark. Blue Jay fans are going to be pissed off, of course. Part of me says I should just leave it. I know, whew. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to end up, 9-3. Yep. Suarez at the plate. Yeah, I'll just open cards. I might as well just open cards and all that. Open up the card pack and all of that. There's going to be no joy in Mudfill and all of that. Yep, so you got all these cards. All right. First card is Alec Marsh of the Kansas City Royals, a prospect and all of that. Home run efficiency in 1975. Did we really need that? Because I don't think we did. Yeah, don't look that up. Well, I might as well. I mean, okay, next up is IKF as a Pirate, and then the Blue Jays picked him up as insurance because of Bichette's injury, but IKF didn't really do too much. Oh, he was signed by Toronto for his versatility. Yeah, and then we dumped him off, and then he came back to us. Yeah, he was decent. But yeah, IKF as a member of the Pirates, not as the Blue Jays. And then you got yourself Nassim Nunez of the Nats. So that's what he's done. Ooh, a Gavin Stone, like a shiny Gavin Stone card. Instead, I think there's 3 variations. I think there's something like this, but yeah, a Heritage 673 out of 699. Topps Heritage. Gavin Stone. But, well, he is with the Dodgers, and he is on the Dodgers NLCS line. So yeah, Gavin Stone. Anyway, Jason Foley for the Tigres. I don't know if he's really pitched. He pitched for the Tigers in 2025. Probably did. Uwasawa-san for Boston. He pitched for the Nippon Ham Fighters and then went to Boston. I don't really think he is pitching and all that. I don't remember hearing his name. Tyler Mahle for Teja. He once was a 13-game winner for the Reds. Austin Martin. So many buzzing. Outfielder and all that. Austin Martin for the Twins. And Whit Merrifield as a member of the Braves. Yeah, the Blue Jays had him for a few years, and he actually was kind of a good player for the Blue Jays, and then he left free agency for Atlanta. He was Kansas City's decent second baseman, and the Blue Jays needed a second baseman. And then, of course, 2023 was when we faltered. So basically, the Blue Jays are going to go back to old habits and all that. I've been around for 2.5 hours, so, I'm just going to leave it as is. And, 9-3, this game is practically over. I don't know what else to watch, but yeah, I'm basically done for. And, I'll just, do some stuff and, I got to go do some housekeeping stuff too. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Diamond. There will be a Game 3 stream on Wednesday, excuse me. There will be a Game 3 stream on Wednesday. Game 4 will be probably late because of ball hockey, but I don't know if I'll make it. Or, well, if the Jays lose Game 3, then I'm probably not going to do a stream for Game 4. Oh, well, I was close. But anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu. See you later.